Thank you to everyone who is here today, and thank you to everyone who is here to support the success of our class and all of the classes that we've had in 2023. I Today's class is, of course, an offering to you from me, from Feldenkrais Access. And the intention is to bring you some lessons that are easy to do, that can give you very quickly relief from the stress of the world, and the stress which some of us experience with the holidays, the end of the year. And I think it's important to have access to some very quick ways of addressing stress. We've known since the 1960s that stress is damaging, deleterious to our well-being, to our health. And so I hope that these lessons will offer you the ability to change or reset the state of your nervous system in an easy, reliable, and even pleasurable way. Just a few words for those who have not done Feldenkrais lessons before. We call them lessons because we're trying to address learning. We're trying to speak to our brain. And Feldenkrais lessons are very different in that way to conventional exercise. And we're trying to access the neuroplasticity of our nervous system to create positive improvement, positive change. So you'll find that the lessons are easy to do. Your success is structured into the lesson, and you'll find that we combine gentle yet neurologically important movement with a process of attention and attending to our own sensory experience, which is within easy access of everyone. So welcome to Feldenkrais Access, and to your first experience with Feldenkrais lessons. You can help to create the conditions for your success by doing the movements slowly, very slowly, only doing what is easy and pleasurable for yourself, by avoiding pain and discomfort. Pain and discomfort inhibit the brain from learning, from adapting to new ways of moving. And by making each movement small, even smaller than what you think is small, and by pausing and resting between each movement. You don't need to remember these precisely or write them down. My job is to remind you of them as we proceed in the lesson. And your job is to take care of yourself and only do what is easy and comfortable. All right, so we will do 2 lessons, I suspect, today. We have 2 hours, and we'll have a break between the lessons, probably 15 minutes. And if for some reason you feel like you've had enough after the first lesson, you're welcome to leave if you wish to. And as Juniper referenced, you will have the lesson access to it for as long as you wish. So please, just to mention, if at any point in the lesson you feel confused, unsure of what we're doing, feel welcome to look at your screen, and again, you can have your camera on. That helps me to watch you and to understand what it is I might say that could be useful to, of course, the entire group. And but if you want to turn your camera off, also feel welcome to. And if you have more concerns or questions, you can write them into the chat, and Roz and Anastasi will be happy to reply to you. All right. So you want to have, both lessons that we do today will be on the floor. And so you want to have an area where you have room to the right of yourself, to the left of yourself, and some kind of nice soft padding upon which you can lie. And so if you need to gather something together to lie on, please do so now. And otherwise, please lie on your back. And just a reminder, don't hesitate. I'm not available for questions, but our colleagues, Roz and Anastasi, are very available. In other words, and that's a way in which we are trying to ensure that everyone has a successful experience. So you may bend your knees or have your legs long. Just spend a moment observing your contact with the floor, not with the idea of changing anything, but simply feeling yourself in relation to the floor before the lesson, without altering yourself, without imposing anything on yourself. And feel the weight of the right side of your pelvis on the floor, the left side of your pelvis, and then just simply compare. Is one side leaning a little more heavily on the floor than the other? This is almost always true for the great majority of us. Your lower back, left side of your lower back compared to the right side of your lower back. But it's not a subtle message on my part that you should change anything. Quite the contrary. And now slowly, just using your attention, your ability to feel yourself internally, make contact with your spine, and just follow your spine slowly upwards toward your head, just feeling where you're touching the floor and where you're not. Just a very simple distinction. You can feel certain points in your back are very clearly touching the floor. Other parts of yourself maybe not so clearly. And then the back of your neck. And the back of your head. And now your left shoulder blade. Just feel where your left shoulder blade is touching, where it's not touching, without altering, without changing anything. And now your right shoulder blade. And notice one shoulder blade is lying a little closer to the floor, or it feels a little wider on the floor than the other. And now in your imagination, just sense the distance from your right ear to your right shoulder and the distance from your left ear to your left shoulder. Can you feel that one shoulder blade is a little further away than the other? And is one shoulder blade a little more forward than the other? And the length of the right side of your neck compared to the left side of your neck? That's right. Good. Now, with your legs long, please put your right hand behind your head, not behind your neck, but behind your head. That's right. So the back of your head is lying in the palm of your right hand. For some, it's easy to have your right elbow lying on the floor. For others, it's not so easy. It doesn't matter. And now just very slowly bring your right shoulder, your right elbow away from the floor. Just bring your right elbow away from the floor and towards your head, and then let it return to the floor or as close to the floor as you can comfortably. Just slowly. See if you can exhale as you bring your elbow, your right elbow, toward the right side of your head. That's right. And just feel where you can reduce your effort. Just slowly, you lift your right elbow to bring it toward the ceiling, toward the right side of your face. As you exhale, now, can you feel that as you do that, does the back of your head move against your right hand? You just feel that. Would you say that your head turns a little to the right or a little to the left? And do you feel any movement in your chest? And again, for those who have not been with me or have not done Feldenkrais lessons before, when I ask you these questions, I'm not implying that something should be happening or that you should be doing something. Quite the contrary. You just observe yourself. Just feel yourself. That's right. Good. Now, please bring your right arm down, rest for a moment, and observe that question again. Does one shoulder blade feel wider than the other? Does one shoulder blade feel closer to the floor than the other? Put your left hand behind your head. That's it. And again, very slowly, just lift your left elbow away from the floor, in effect, bringing your left arm closer to your left cheek, and your elbow becomes oriented toward the ceiling rather than toward the wall to the left of you. Just slowly exhale as you lift your elbow. And the reason to exhale is that it helps. Exhaling, of course, softens your chest a little, makes the movement of your ribs a little more pliable. Just slowly. And now notice, does the back of your head move a little when your elbow comes closer to your face? And just feel. You feel, where can you reduce the effort? Where can you reduce the effort in your stomach, in your throat? Good. Please stop. Please bring your left arm down. That's it. And just observe. Has anything changed in the way the left side of your upper back is lying on the floor? Please put your right hand behind your head again. And now, slowly, as you lift your right elbow away from the floor, move your eyes to the left, but slowly, in relationship to the movement of your elbow toward your head. Think of your eyes going a little to the left, as if there was something to the left that you want to see. And relax your mouth, your jaw. If your mouth is relaxed, it means there's a little space between your upper teeth and your lower teeth. That's it. And for many of you, feel, is your right elbow lying closer to the floor than when we started? Even though this something is paradoxical, because even though we've been lifting the elbow, right, against gravity, the question is the elbow lying closer to the floor when you rest? Good. Please remove your right hand. Just observe. Notice the movement of your lower abdomen as you inhale and exhale. Again, just as you are now. Put your left hand behind your head. And again, as you bring your elbow towards the left side of your face, move your eyes to the right and relax your mouth. And can you feel that just thinking of taking your eyes to the right there's more movement of the back of your head in relationship to your left hand. See if you can feel that. We didn't say anything about turning your head intentionally, just your eyes to the right. And if the back of your head is turning a little more, is it easier to perceive the movement of your chest, your breastbone or sternum? In other words, there's a general turning to the right of your chest, your spine, the back of your neck. All right. Please bring your left hand down. Again, just observe the width of your upper back, the contact with the floor of your shoulder blades. And now interlace your fingers so that you can bring both hands behind your head. And just for a moment, you alternate. You lift your right elbow and you feel the movement of the back of your head, and your right elbow comes closer to your face. And then you take your right elbow back to the floor and slowly you lift your left elbow. And again, you want to relax your abdomen. Your tongue is relaxed. You feel your eyes are moving to the right and to the left quite spontaneously now. And the reason we did that variation is that there's a tendency of the eyes to look back toward the elbow. But in fact, that inhibits the movement of the head and neck. Okay, now feel. Is one elbow feel lighter than the other? Just observe and make a little mental note. Does it feel to you as if your head is turning a little more easily one way or the other? All right. Please rest for a moment. Bring your arms down. Please bend your right knee, stand your right foot, and slowly push your right foot toward the floor so that you can roll your pelvis to the left. So you use the pushing of your right foot toward the floor, your right knee gets a little longer, and that's right, you're able to use the foot in relation to the floor as a fulcrum to lift the right side of your pelvis away from the floor, which means that your pelvis is rolling a little to the left. That's right. The left side of your pelvis, of course, is remaining substantially on the floor. So just slowly, again, as you exhale, Just doing what's easy, comfortable for you. Again, relax your jaw. Allow your mouth maybe even to be open a tiny bit. And notice how far up your back, how far up your spine can you follow that movement of rolling your pelvis to the left. But each time, with each movement, you do less. With each movement, you allow the floor to support you. That's it. And now bring your attention to the back of your head. And observe. Would you say that the back of your head is moving at all in relationship to the movement of your pelvis? For some, the head is turning to the right. For some, the head is turning a tiny bit to the left. And for others, the head is staying in the middle. Again, without wanting to impose on yourself, you want to feel what happens spontaneously in relationship to that pushing of your right foot into the floor, the lengthening of your right knee. Now, just one last question. Do you just observe, does your left shoulder come closer to the floor or move away from the floor when you roll your pelvis to the left? Or we could say it the other way, couldn't we? Does your right shoulder blade go closer to the floor or come away from the floor? Because obviously our shoulder blades move in relationship to one another and in relationship to our chest. All right. Please rest for a moment and stretch out your right leg. And now observe, is one leg seem to you to be a little longer or shorter than the other? You just observe. Please bend your left knee, stand your left foot. That's it. And slowly you organize yourself to press your left foot, your left heel into the floor in such a way that you can help yourself. That's it. So your knee remains toward the ceiling rather than falling to the right. Your knee remains toward the ceiling. And that way you can feel that there's a very interesting movement in your left hip joint. Just feeling where you can do less. Where you can reduce the effort. You'll find sometimes that effort is in unsuspecting places. It might be in, you can relax your hands a little more, your feet, your shoulders. And again, you exhale and you go so slowly that you actually feel that you have the time to say move our attention, to move our attention about ourselves so that you can observe, you have the time to observe what happens to your shoulder blades, what happens to that weight of the back of your head against the floor. And some of these questions may be easier to answer than others. And I would say that the, the distinctions that are easy to make, you start there. If something feels non-obvious, if something feels obscure, you move somewhere else where it's easy to feel that. Where do your eyes go? Your chin. All right. Please stop. Please rest again. And you may say rightfully, hey, we did more movements with the right than with the left. And I think you're right, but that's just fine because it's not the movements that are making the difference. Our brain, our nervous system is learning a particular pattern. And we're able to use that information from the right side to learn a little more quickly with the movements to the left. Or it's not a matter of right and left. We could have started with the left side, and I would say the same thing. Please bend your right knee, stand your right foot. That's it. Put your right hand behind your head. That's it. And now slowly, as you roll your pelvis to the left, just as we've been doing, easily, simply, please lift your right elbow away from the floor and see if by rolling your pelvis to the left, something feels a little bit easier about lifting your right elbow, that your right elbow has magically become a little lighter. Go slowly, slowly, and you coordinate those two movements as if it's one movement. In other words, that the pushing of your right foot against the floor begins the lifting of your right elbow toward the ceiling. That's it. And you can feel now very clearly that your head is turning to the left a little. In fact, your entire back is turning, and the entire right side of your back is lifting a little bit away from the floor. Again, just what's easy, just what's comfortable. As you exhale, and think of your right eye looking to the left. Slowly, remember your right knee remains toward the ceiling. Your right knee remains toward the ceiling. That's it. Slowly, slowly. That's it. Feel where you can reduce the effort in your abdomen. Can you feel that your chin is turning almost the same amount, the same number of degrees as your pelvis? And you rest between each movement. There's no rush. We're not in a hurry. Beautiful. Please rest. Bring your right arm down. Stress and its very close cousin, anxiety, make it more difficult for us to feel ourselves internally. And so directing ourselves in this way, in this particular way that we do during the lessons, is right away by turning our attention inwardly, it's reducing the effects of stress and anxiety, turning our nervous system away and giving us, again, a reliable, you could say, method for changing the state of our nervous system. Changing it how? Changing it from an anxious, a stressed, a sympathetic state to a parasympathetic state. All right, please bend your left knee, stand your left foot, put your left hand behind your head. That's it. And slowly, to begin with, when you rest, your elbow is lying on the floor or as close to the floor as you can. And then some of us have impingements in our shoulder, in the movement of our arm. So just do what's easy for you and begin to roll your pelvis to the right in relationship to lifting your left elbow. That's it. Just slowly, as if it's one movement, one simple movement. That's it. Feel where you can relax your abdomen and your chest. Just slowly feel how your back is turning. And is your jaw still relaxed? Are your lower teeth and upper teeth separated? You find that the more slowly you do the movement, the more time you have to feel where you can relax yourself, where you can reduce the effort. And again, take note, is your left elbow resting a little closer to the floor than when we started? It's dramatic for many people. All right, please stop, please rest. Can you feel the shape of your chest is different than when we started? By that, I mean that the back of your chest is wider, is more in contact with the floor. And when we feel stress or anxiety, there is a bodily organization, a somatic organization that happens. It's not simply a mental event, a psychological event. It's a whole self. My whole self feels anxious, or my whole self feels the burden of stress, the effect of the stress. And just observe the movement of your lower abdomen as you inhale. But that's different than when we started. Please bend your right knee again. And bring your hands in front of your face and interlace your hands. And you can see that one forefinger is on top of the other. So we're going to call this our habitual way of interlacing our hands. And now if you separate your hands for just a moment and interlace them again, but with the other forefinger on top. And we'll call that the non-habitual. Okay? So go back to the habitual and bring both hands behind your head. That's right. And now continue with bringing your right elbow away from the floor as you roll your pelvis. And that's right. And allowing your head and eyes to turn. That's it. And as you turn, you can feel it's as if your head is nested between your hands, between your arms. That's it. So now the relationship between the turning of your head, that's it, and the rolling of your pelvis is there's a unity to it, that your head and your spine and your pelvis are all more or less turning the same number of degrees. As you exhale, but you're not really concerned with making the movement bigger, but rather with making it simpler, easier. That's right. Just what's easy. Just what's easy. Your eyes. That's it. Your jaw. Very nice. All right. Please stop. Please rest a moment. Bend your right knee again. Stand your right foot, and this time interlace your hands in the non-habitual way. So it's the same movement to the rolling to the left, but that interlacing now creates a different organization in your shoulders. That's right. Just slowly. You might feel that the sensation is different. The sensation of yourself and your upper back is different than when you had your fingers interlaced in the habitual way. Because of course the change is not just in the hands, the change is in the arms and the shoulders, in the upper back. There is no part of ourself that isn't changed by that little change. It's a little change, but it makes a global difference. That's it. And rest for a moment. And just observe if you can feel a difference between the right side of yourself and the left side of yourself. Bend your left knee, stand your left foot, interlace your hands in the habitual way. Bring your hands behind your head. That's it. And just slowly, not with ambitiousness, not with desire, not even motivation, just slowly push your left foot against the floor, but with curiosity, with interest, and lift your left elbow and begin to feel that. Here, begin this way. Bring your right elbow toward the ceiling also. That's right. And your left elbow toward the ceiling, and roll like that. Roll with your head between your arms. And just feel, is that a little different? Yes, of course it is. Just what's easy. Remember, the movement itself is unimportant. It's tangential. And the less effort you use, the more communication there is with your brain. The more your brain becomes curious and says, oh, this is nice. This is simple. This is maybe it's comforting. Maybe it's pleasurable. And change the interlacing of your hands. And continue. That's right. And see if that feels different. That's it. And feel how, again, the back of your head, your nose, your chin, your breastbone, they're all moving together in almost like a cylinder with your pelvis turning to the right. And please rest. Would you say that there's a more uniform way that you're lying on the floor now? More contact, or more, the contact is more even or more symmetrical? And observe that movement of your lower abdomen. And please bend your right knee, stand your right foot, interlace your hands, your fingers, bring your hands behind your head, bring your elbows toward the ceiling. That's right. And a few times, push your right foot to help you roll your pelvis to the left. And again, your Your elbows, your arms are kind of, your head is nestled between your arms, and everything rolls to the left, just what's easy. Maybe there's effort, unnecessary effort in your left leg, in your stomach. That's it. And now, slowly imagine that you're going to keep your eyes on a point on the ceiling in front of yourself. That's right. And your eyes are inhibited from moving. So you keep your eyes looking at an imaginary point on the ceiling in front of yourself. And so now your eyes can't participate. And you can feel that has a big effect on the turning of your head, doesn't it? Again, you're exhaling, and now allow your eyes to turn to the left and see if something is a little easier. See, notice if you're coming close, maybe, to almost lying on your left side. Not that you need to. I'm just saying, maybe you're coming a little closer. Good. And now change the interlacing of your hands. And again, think of your eyes looking, being stationary, looking at that imaginary point on the ceiling. That's it. We create the inhibition, but in becoming aware of the inhibition, we become released from it. Because for many of us, the participation of our eyes in turning is what's limiting our ability to turn easily. That's it. And now go ahead and allow your eyes to turn to the left and feel the difference. That's right. And are your lower teeth and upper teeth still separated? That's okay. Some of the most unconscious parts of ourself are the parts of ourself that revert back to our habitual ways of moving. That's right. Please rest. As we reduce the effect, you can't reduce the stress that's outside of yourself, but you can reduce the way that or change the way that we respond to that stress, the way that we internalize that stress. And as you reduce that, you have more of your internal resources available to you. And that's exactly what the effect of the lesson is. All right, please bend your left knee. interlace your fingers in the non-habitual way. Bring your hands behind your head. That's it. Make that imaginary dot on the ceiling in front of you. And bring both elbows toward the ceiling. That's right. And now go ahead and roll your pelvis to the right in the way that we've been doing it. That's it. But keep your eyes on that point on the ceiling. But just easily, without strain. In order to improve, we have to feel comfortable. So go slowly. That's right. You're not in a rush. You relax your jaw, your stomach, your chest. And you'll find, well, you thought your stomach was relaxed, but you can relax it a little more. That's it. And now go ahead and let your eyes move to the right. And see if you're coming a little closer to lying on your right side. In other words, your right arm is in contact with the floor. That's right. And your head is maybe a little more held between your arms. That's right. Feel how you're turning around your right leg. There's a very nice movement in both hip joints. Not that you're intending to make it a nice movement, but you can feel your pelvis is turning around the head of your right femur and the head of your left femur, the leg bone. That's it. All right. Please rest. And you feel that how with each variation that we're doing, there's a difference in the comfort with which your back is lying on the floor. Bend your right knee. Interlace your fingers in the non-habitual way. Bring your hands behind your head. Bring your elbows to the ceiling. And now you'll need the best of your attention to see if you can move your eyes to the right as you roll to the left. That's it. If you can take your eyes to the right, you have to do it slowly, and you can't do it without sensing yourself, without being with yourself in the present moment. You feel that? So your eyes move to the right as your head and chest turn to the left. That's it. And relax your jaw and your stomach. It's true that in the process of learning, there's a general truth that often when we do something new, there's a little bit of regression. You can see that easily in children. It's well documented that for most children, when they begin to walk, they become more clingy. In other words, they regress in particular ways. They feel insecure. Well, all learning is like that. And so now allow your eyes to go to the left and see if somehow something has become smoother. That's right. All right. Rest for a moment. Again, observe that movement of your lower abdomen as you inhale. Interlace your fingers. Bend your left knee. Stand your left foot. Bring your elbows toward the ceiling. And of course, whenever you want, you can rest your elbows on the floor again. And now slowly, slowly, you coordinate, but you have to be mindful. You have to attend to what you're doing. Take your eyes in the opposite direction of your head. That's right. As you roll to the right, your eyes go to the left. That's it. Just what's easy. Maybe every 2 or 3 movements, you let your elbows go back to the floor. But you can feel that it's a little bit like, as if your head is being carried by that arrangement of your arms. And now allow your eyes to go to the right and feel. Are you coming a little more to lying on your right side? As if you could just lie there for a moment with your head cradled. That's it. All right. Please rest. Remember, the first thing that we felt before the lesson was the contact of our lower back with the floor. Is that different than when we started? Please bend both knees, stand both feet, and interlace your fingers in the non-habitual way. Bring your hands behind your head. And now, as you roll to the left, allow your left knee to travel with you toward the floor. And then when you roll to the right, you allow your right knee to come to the floor. That's it. That's nice. In other words, that when you roll to the right, there's no need for your right leg to do any work. That's it. And when you roll to the left, it's the right foot that's pushing, and the left knee can just drift to the floor. That's right. And your eyes, and again, allow your mouth to be open a little bit. That's it. And maybe you can go a little faster. You don't need to go fast, but just that's it. That's right. So when you roll to the left, you feel that your your head is lying on your left arm. And when you roll to the right, your head is resting on your right arm. That's it. Just what's easy. And breathe easily and breathe comfortably. That's it. And keep reducing the effort. Good. All right. Please stop. And please stretch out your legs. Or you can have your knees bent. Either way is fine. Either way. And just observe, is your spine making contact with the floor differently than when we started? Your shoulder blades and the movement of your lower abdomen and the softness of your face. And slowly, please bend your knees. That's right. And stand your feet and help yourself to roll to one side and then come up to sitting and to standing. And feel the width of your chest. See if you can relax your jaw and your abdomen and your shoulders. And I hope you feel the pleasure of the lesson. I know I do. And thank you very much. We'll take a 15-minute break. So we'll come back. Well, we'll come back. Let's try and come back at 25 after the hour. I hope you feel more peaceful internally. I just wanted to ask Anastasi if there's been any. Um,
No questions, only glowing comments, David.
yeah.
Yeah, everyone's extremely grateful for the lesson. Thank you for the first part. Yeah, just lots of joy and thanks and gratitude for the lesson. So, no
Oh,
questions.
very sweet. That lesson was hot off the press, so to speak. So let's come back and thank you for staying for the second hour. Um, I think it's reasonable to say that some just to for a moment, if you allow me to speak to the parts of ourselves, even though my perspective and Dr. Feldenkrais's perspective is almost always looking at how the whole self is moving. But I think it's reasonable to say that in the matter of stress or anxiety, that certain parts of ourselves respond in a more immediate and more significant way. And that would be our circulation changes very dramatically, our um, including the way that our heart is beating, and that our shoulders rise up. I'm sure you know that. Our breathing changes quite significantly. We continue to breathe, of course. We continue to breathe in spite of feeling stress or anxiety, but the way that we breathe is different than when we're feeling at ease. And and something changes in our hands. Our hands tend to what you could say flex or clench. They tend towards clenching when we feel under duress, under stress, or anxiety. And and so that also means that changing our breathing and changing the um, the state of our hands, you could say, can have a significant effect on changing the state of our nervous system, on changing that state of stress or anxiety. I think of the hands as like a fast track. It's a very the way that the hands change in relationship to stress or anxiety is so clear that that being able to change the state of our hands means immediately that we've changed the state of our breathing, we've changed the way that our heart is working, and and I think you'll see that it's a very, very fast and effective way to move our nervous system into a more relaxed or parasympathetic state, if you will. And that's by way of saying that our second lesson is going to be working with our hands. Okay. So if you're ready, please lie on your back. And please take a couple of minutes to simply reestablish your relationship to yourself, to this internal, interoceptive relationship to yourself. And just observe your contact with the floor, how it's still different, isn't it? It's still different than when we started. Now, please bend your knees and stand your feet. And bring your hands in, bring your left hand in front of your face. That's right. And slowly, just very slowly, rotate your left arm. So your left elbow is to the left. Your hand is in front of your face, away from your face, not too close as to bother you. And you just slowly turn your left arm so that your palm goes towards the ceiling and your palm goes towards your face. So just very slowly like that, you turn your hand. That's it. Of course, it's not just turning your hand, is it? It's your whole left arm. Your lower left arm is changing, is turning around itself. That's it. Okay, bring your left arm down. Good. Notice that was just a few movements. Can you perceive a difference in the way your left shoulder is resting on the floor compared to your right? Now, I just want to reiterate. Well, firstly, I wouldn't ask the question unless I thought maybe there was something there that you could feel, or I was confident that there's something there that you could feel. But the important thing is to understand it's not the movement that made the difference. It was your attention. All right, bring your right arm in front of yourself. That's it. And your right elbow is pointed towards the right, towards the wall to the right of you, and just slowly turn your right hand. That's it. Around, your lower arm is turning around itself. That's it. But if you close your eyes, you can probably feel that something is moving in your shoulder joint. Something is moving in your clavicle, your collarbone. Something is moving maybe even in your upper ribs. Good. Please stop. Rest for a moment. Bring your attention to the way your right shoulder is lying on the floor. If you can, only if you can easily, please come and sit up. Sit up on the floor, or you can even sit on a chair. Not a problem. If you're more comfortable sitting in a chair, please sit in a chair. And now please do the same thing. Bring your left arm so that it's parallel to the floor, and slowly rotate your lower left arm around itself. That's right. And now do something a bit funny. As you turn your palm toward the ceiling, lower yourself, lower your head, lower your eyes, and see if you can turn your hand a little more. Again, as you turn your palm toward the ceiling, you lower yourself and round yourself. And then as you turn your palm towards the wall in front of you, you get a little taller. That's right. As you turn your left palm toward the wall in front of yourself, you get a little taller, you look up, and then as you turn your palm toward the ceiling, you round your back. That's nice. Your eyes go down when your head goes down. That's it. It's almost a bit of a movement of supplication, and then you turn your palm toward the ceiling and you look up in a movement toward the sky. That's it. All right. Rest a moment, sitting. Just observe the feeling of your left shoulder on the in relationship to your left ear, in relationship to your right shoulder, and now the same idea. Bring the right arm in front of yourself, and as your palm goes toward the wall in front of yourself, you round, and then as your palm goes towards the ceiling, you get taller. Just slowly, just what's easy. That's it. And now the opposite. You turn your palm toward the ceiling and you get round. You turn your palms towards the wall in front of yourself and you get tall. Mm-hmm. And you feel your lower back arches a little bit. The arm doesn't change in relationship to space, but you do. You get round and you lower your head to look at your empty palm. That's it. And then as your hand rotates in the other direction, you look up toward the sky. Good. Please rest a moment on your back. Please bend your knees. Please bring your right arm in front of yourself again. That's right. Close your eyes. And what I'd like you to do very slowly is to move your right arm just a little bit to the left without lowering it, without raising it. In other words, without taking your right hand further away from yourself, or without taking your right hand toward the floor. Only you watch your thumb. You watch your thumb move to the left, and then you come back. So your wrist is relaxed. That's it. And even though your eyes are closed, you're looking at your left thumb. As your right hand, sorry, yeah, as your eyes are closed, you're looking at your right thumb, I'm sorry, as it moves across your chest. And now your second finger. With your eyes, you're watching your second finger move to the left. That's it. Of course, you can rest your right arm anytime you wish. And now your middle finger. You follow your middle finger. And your fourth finger. And feel where you can soften your chest. That's right. And now your little finger. Your fifth finger. So it's not that it's as if that finger is kind of leading the motion to the left, organizing the movement to the left. And then back to your second finger, your forefinger. And now think, as you take your right hand to the left, you turn your right hand a little bit as if your palm was going to face the wall below you. Means your forefinger turns a little bit. All right. Please rest your right arm on the floor and observe the feeling of your right shoulder. Bend your knees again if you straightened your legs. Your left arm in front of your face again. Your left arm now. And now, with your eyes closed, think of following your thumb, that your thumb is leading. Your thumb is leading the movement of your left hand to the right. It's as if there's a ray of light coming out of your left thumb. And that ray of light, you follow it with your eyes, even though your eyes are closed. The thought of following your thumb organizes your eyes. And now your second finger, your forefinger, you follow that finger. And you'd be surprised that each of those movements organizes your eyes differently. And our eyes are closed because I think it's easier for you to make this kind of subtle differentiation with your eyes closed. And now your middle finger. That's right. And are you seeing more out of one eye? Are you thinking of one eye when you do that? And now your fourth finger. And each time you do that, you exhale. And some of you can feel that the back of your head on the floor is turning. That your eyes and your face may be turning to the right, but the back of your head is turning to the left. And now your little finger. All right, please rest. Come back up to sitting for a moment. Just easily. And now bring both hands in front of yourself. Your fingertips are facing one another. And now slowly, as you turn your palms toward the wall in front of you, you get taller. And then as you turn your hands, both hands together toward the ceiling, you lower yourself, round yourself. That's it. Good. Of course, your elbows come back a little, back and down a little, and then you turn your hands as if your hands are going to face, your palms are going to face the wall in front of you or higher. Maybe now your palms are going toward the ceiling when you get taller. That's right. And feel your thumbs turn down and then up. That's it. And then when you round yourself, your thumbs go forward and down. That's it. But it's one motion of your whole self. Good. But it's organized through your hands. Good. Please lie on your back. Observe the movement of your lower abdomen. That's it. Please bend your knees. Stand your feet. And now interlace your fingers. Again, at a distance from your face, but in front of yourself. Interlace your fingers and continue with this idea of turning now both hands together, the palms going toward the ceiling, and then the palms turning around, and the palms of your hands coming toward your face. That's it. Slowly, slowly, just what's easy. And you breathe easily. That's it. You simply are turning your hands around themselves so that your palm goes, in effect, toward the ceiling, and then toward your face. But just what's easy. And slowly, so that you can feel that your elbows turn. You can feel the turning in your elbows. You can feel the turning in your shoulders, your shoulder joints. And your teeth, there's no need for your teeth to be touching. And feel where you can soften yourself, do less. That's it. Good. Please rest. Of course, you'll have the recording of today's lessons, and you can do the movements as many times as you like. Just observe if something's changed in the width, the feeling of width of the back of your chest. Bend your knees. Interlace your fingers in the non-habitual way. Separate your feet about shoulder width apart. And that's right, your feet are standing. And now interlace your fingers in the non-habitual way and continue with this very slow, simple turning motion. That's it. And that's right, your elbows are bent comfortably. Are your eyes following the movement of your hands? I understand your eyes are closed, but can you feel your eyes are actually watching your hands turn? Now, as you do that, you keep that movement of your hands constant, but you move your hands up as if you were going to lie your hands, not that you will, you won't, but as if you were going to lie your hands on the floor above your head. So you don't increase the speed, you just very slowly bring your hands up, maybe in front of your forehead, or that's right, and then go back. And you do that a few times, only bringing your hands up the little bit that's easy, and slowly, not up toward the ceiling. Your elbows remain bent, not up towards the ceiling, but up toward your head. And as soon as you feel that the movement becomes restricted, well, you come back to the hands being in front of yourself. We could say that the hands in front of yourself is home. And then you're just trying to see if you can keep that softness in your arms and your hands as your hands drift up away from home. That's nice. That's nice. Good. Please rest for a moment. Just observe if something feels interesting about the way that your elbows are resting on the floor, the width of your chest. Bend your knees, stand your feet, separate your feet about shoulder width apart. And now interlace your fingers in the non-habitual way And now continue to turn your hands slowly and let your hands, your arms drift upwards. And as you do that, lift your pelvis a little bit toward the ceiling, as if your arms going toward the above your head that's right, helps your pelvis to lift, and your pelvis lifting helps your arms to go a little higher. See if you can feel that your pelvis lifting helps you to keep turning your hands while, that's right, while your arms drift above the top of your head. Good. Please rest. Can you feel that something's changed in the quality of your hands, the quality of sensation of your hands? Something is not as it was 20 minutes ago. Bend your knees, interlace your fingers in the habitual way. And now, as you continue the turning, in other words, nothing interrupts the turning. It's very slow. That's right. And as you do that, let your hands drift downwards. What is downwards? Toward being in front of your stomach. Yet, the turning, the rotation of your hands is continuous. That's right. Exactly. And then come back. Just what's easy. And relax your jaw and your throat, your stomach. And now let your hands continue with that rotation, but come above your head and you lift your pelvis toward the ceiling to help you. And then you lower your pelvis in relationship to the movement of your hands going down toward your stomach. So it's a simple, coordinated, in other words, you're coordinating that movement of your pelvis with the movement of your hands and the movement of your hands with your pelvis. Good. Beautiful. Rest for a moment. Please roll to your side and come to sit either in a chair. If you're sitting in a chair, come to the forward edge of the chair. If you're sitting on the floor, just cross your legs easily, simply. Interlace your fingers in the non-habitual way and do the same thing, meaning you turn your hand slowly as if there's a string tied to your wrists and it's lifting your arms toward the sky above your head, and you look up, you follow your hands, and then your arms begin to drift downwards, and you round your back and you look down with your eyes, but nothing interrupts the turning of your hands. Slowly, slowly. It's continuous. It's not one way and then the other. It's as if the movement of the hands is uninterrupted. That's it. That's better. Very nice. And then your hands rise and you look up towards your hands. Your back arches a little bit, your chest widens. And then, of course, it's the opposite when your hands lower towards your legs, towards your lap. Your eyes look down, your back gets, you slump. That's it. It's as if the hands going up lifts you, lifts all of you. That's it. If you've ever had an elbow injury, just this movement alone will be very therapeutic for you. All right, please stop and rest on your back. Please bend your right knee, stand your right foot, interlace your fingers, bring them in front of you. Again, oh, that's right, maybe 10 inches in front of yourself. And now slowly, slowly, you're going to resume that rotation of your hands, just simply, slowly, no strain. And now, that's right. And take your arms to the left as you do that. Feel where you can reduce the effort in your mouth. That's it. And now, some of you will feel that your hands are going up or they're going down. See if you can keep that motion continuous, but simply take your hands to the left, due left. That's it. Very good. Now, you can also feel that your left elbow is going toward the floor. And you can also feel that if you press your right foot a little bit into the floor, in other words, you pressurize the relationship between your right foot and the floor, well, you help yourself to be able to roll a little, but only in relationship to the movement of your hands. That's it. Feel where you can reduce the effort, where you can soften yourself. Good. Now, you can also feel maybe that when you turn to the left like that, your left elbow comes to rest. That's it. Your left elbow comes to rest on the floor. And that allows you to just continue turning your hands. That's it. With your left elbow on the floor. Very nice. Please rest. Now you feel. Which shoulder blade is lying closer to the floor now? It's so easy to make the argument that the change is in relationship to our attention and not in relationship to the movement, because both arms were turning, both hands were turning, and yet we perceive the change in the right arm, the right shoulder. Bend your left knee, stand your left foot, interlace your fingers in the non-habitual way. That's it. And resume that turning, just slowly. That's it. And now as you do that, begin to take your hands to the right, but just slowly, and allowing your elbows to be heavy. That's it. Because you can feel that as you turn, if you maintain that effort in your right arm, then your right elbow doesn't come to the floor so easily. And you feel how can you use your left foot to help yourself? That's it. And of course, you can rest anytime you like. I say the movement is continuous, but not if you need to rest. But you'll find that if you do the movement a little more slowly, you might not need to rest quite so often. And feel how the movement of your pelvis rolling to the right helps your arms, not just to your right elbow to go to the right, but your hands to lengthen toward the wall to the right of you. And your jaw and your tongue and your stomach. That's it. You can feel that even though the right elbow is on the floor resting, it's the left elbow that can straighten a little more. You feel that? All right. Please come back and please rest and just observe. Observe the contact of your spine with the floor. The width of your chest in front. Bend both knees, please. Stand both feet. Interlace your fingers either way. You choose. That's it. And bring your hands in front of yourself. And now begin that rotation of your hands. Make it slow and continuous. That's it. And now begin to take your arms to the left. And you can help yourself by pushing your right foot toward the floor. That's right. Just what's easy, just what's light, just what's pleasing to you. And then you come back through the middle and you go to the right. That's good. That's better. That's right. It's interesting to feel, isn't it, how some of the restrictions that you may have or had in the shoulders is reflected in the movement of the hands. But you'll see that the movement of the hands is so basic, so primitive, that gradually the shoulder joints are becoming lubricated. Slowly, slowly. Uh-huh. And when you roll to your side, you can pause there for a moment and just feel the pleasure, the ease with that one elbow resting on the floor. That's right. Again, the movement is continuous. In other words, the motion to the right, the motion to the left has nothing to do with any particular movement of your hands. It's that the movement of your hands is continuous. That's it. And you can feel, if you allow your head to turn to the right elbow rests more easily on the floor. And if you allow your head and eyes to turn to the left, that's it. You find that your left elbow rests on the floor. And you can allow your left knee to rest on the floor, can't you? And then when you roll to the right, you can allow your right knee to rest on the floor. That's it. And the movement is continuous. And again, relax the elbows and your breathing. Very good. Wonderful. Please stop and just rest. Stretch out your legs. Feel the relationship of your arms to the floor, your hands to the floor, your shoulder blades, your spine, the feeling of the front of your chest. The movement of your lower abdomen. Please bend your knees. Interlace your fingers in the opposite way of a moment ago. And now, slowly, slowly, you resume that rotation, that turning, easy, soft. In other words, we're uninterested in how much the hands turn. It's completely irrelevant, but we're interested in the softness, the ease. And now you slowly, you take your arms to the left. That's right. And then slowly, slowly, you begin to take your arms up as if to take your arms above the top of your head. But the turning is continuous. The turning never stops. And then you take your arms still above your head to the right. And of course, you need to figure out just as exactly as you had to figure out as an infant when to turn to the right now. Because you can't bring the arms above your head and to the right unless you do something with your legs and your pelvis. That's it. And then your right elbow is near to the floor or touching the floor. And but you keep going and you go down towards your pelvis, towards your stomach, and then to the left and up. That's right. And you continue going up and over your head and to the right. So you begin to roll to the right when you need to roll to the right, and to roll to the left when you need, only when you need. But it's in relationship to your intention. Take the arms, go over your stomach to the left and up over the top of your head, still turning, and then to the right, and then down and over your stomach, and then slowly to the left. That's right. And of course, if you allow your knees to tilt when they need to tilt, and you allow your eyes to follow your hands, that's it. Slowly. There's no rush. We're not in a hurry. Not at all. That's it. Remember how we started with the idea that even just going slowly is counters the state of stress. Slow movements are linked to our parasympathetic system. That's it. And to the right, and you let your knees go to the right. That's right. And down towards your stomach. That's it. Slowly. You're not in a hurry. There's nowhere to go, only to turn. And now change the direction. You've only been going in one direction. In other words, you've been going over the top of your head to the right and then to the left. Now go from over the top of your head and to the left and then over your stomach to the right. That's it. And just feel where you can reduce your effort. In other words, the movement becomes simpler, less hurried, less desire. All right. Please rest. Please rest and please observe the length of yourself, the contact of your spine with the floor, the relaxed quality of your face and your mouth. And please slowly bend your knees. And slowly roll to your side. Take your time and come to sitting and come to standing. But take your time so that you can keep this internal relationship to yourself, to your sensation. That's it. Thank you very much. And I would like to wish each and every one of you an easy holiday and a peaceful holiday. And may it be full of love. All right.